Are you curious about the top-rated schools in Las Vegas? Well, we have done the legwork and put a list together for you.
Hey everyone, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Catherine.
And we are the Thomas Group with Real Broker, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors.
So if you're looking to buy in the Las Vegas area and you have school-aged kids, I'm sure that school ratings are really important to you. So we've put together a list, and a full list. We're not going to do the full list in the video today. That would be quite a long video. But if you do want the full list or have any questions, please reach out. My name is Catherine. I'm extension 6 at our number below. Or you can reach us at thethomasgrouplv.com, and we'd be more than happy to share our full list of school ratings with you and their locations.
All right, so like Catherine said, we've compiled a really long list, but we tried to make this a little bit more user-friendly for you on the video. So we're going to start with public elementary schools today. And to make it a little bit more user-friendly, we've grouped these into the parts of town where these elementary schools are located.
Yes, and we've also done by elementary, middle, and high school. So if you're really just looking for one category, you can go to the descriptions below and click on the part of the video that has exactly what you're looking for.
Good point. All right, so we are going to start in Inspirada, and Ellis Elementary, located there, has a 10 out of 10 on Great Schools, which is the highest rating in all of Las Vegas area, and an A- on Niche. And I do want to mention as well that while that's the only one currently rated highly in Inspirada, there are plans set aside to open up both new elementary, middle, and high schools out in Inspirada. So I definitely think it's an up-and-coming area. And while maybe the current middle and high schools for Inspirada aren't rated as highly, when they open up the new ones, I imagine they're going to be
the new
good.
Schools, especially from like the research we've done, the newer schools usually have higher ratings.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a really great thing for Inspirada, which, as you've seen our other videos about Inspirada, it's just growing so much. So this will just be another great part of Inspirada.
Agreed.
So next we're going to move on to the Green Valley area, and the first one is Vanderburg Elementary. This does have a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A- on Niche. Next
up we have McDonald Elementary, that's up in Green Valley North, and this also has a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B+ on Niche.
And so then we go to Mack Elementary, which is Green Valley North, and this has an 8 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B+ on Niche.
All right, so now we are going to move to the southwestern part of Las Vegas. And we'll start in Mountain's Edge, where we have Blackhurst Elementary School, which is rated a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A- on Niche. That's really good.
Yes, it is. So now we're going to go to the Enterprise Southwest Las Vegas area. And we have Dr. Mathis Elementary School, which is rated a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A- on Niche.
The next one is also an Enterprise in the Southwest, and that is Steele Elementary, which has an 8 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B+ on Niche.
And so still in the Southwest, but a little bit further south, is Southern Highlands. And for there we have Stuckey Elementary, which has a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A- on Niche.
Oh, and I also wanted to add in that we have videos on all of these different communities.
Yes.
So if you go to our channel page, you might hear us say Mountain's Edge. Kat has a great video on Mountain's Edge. We have one on Southern Highlands. So go to our channel page and you can search and find our specific communities.
Learn some more about the communities, and there are a couple communities in here that we don't have videos on yet, but I'm actually writing the scripts for them right now for that exact reason. So that you will get a little bit more information on those areas.
Love it. Thanks, Kat.
Yeah.
All right, so also in Southern Highlands, we have Charles and Phyllis Frias Elementary. That gets a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A- on Niche. Some really great elementary schools in Southern Highlands. I actually wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, there really are. And so this might be surprising because actually it surprised us a little bit. Silverado Ranch area, which is just in between Henderson and the Southwest, just south of the Strip, but they actually have some really great rated schools too. We have Gehring Elementary School there, which is a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A- on Niche. So I feel like those schools have kind of come up in their ratings a little bit over the years.
So the second one in Silverado Ranch is Beatty Elementary, and that has an 8 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B on Niche.
So now let's move over to Henderson. We have Wallen Elementary School, which is in the Madera Canyon area of Henderson, has a 9 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
Next over to Anthem, and all of these three are kind of in the same, they're all in the same area. So in Anthem we have Lamping Elementary, which has a 9 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
So now let's move over to Seven Hills. We have Wolf Elementary that has a 9 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
Yeah, I think like the Seven Hills, Anthem area, like consistently through the elementary, middle school, and high school, you'll see as we get through the video, if you are looking specific areas, the schools are ranked very highly throughout. All right, next up we have Paradise Hills in Henderson, which is out a little bit farther than most of what we're talking about. We have Smalley Elementary, which has a 9 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And then we have South Fork Henderson, which is the Silverado Ranch kind of St. Rose
eastern
border,
area.
but still considered Henderson. We do have Glen Taylor Elementary. They have an 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche. Let's talk about the Summerlin Elementary Schools. We have Vasiliadis Elementary, which is zoned for Summerlin West, and it is a 10 out of 10 on great schools and an A- on niche, so very highly rated.
Good. Yeah, because it's Summerlin West, it's probably a newer school, and like we said, the newer schools tend to do a little bit better. All right, next up we have Bonner Elementary, and that is in the Crossing, which is an older part of Summerlin. I think it's a 9 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
That's still a really great rating.
Summerlin
has a lot of really great schools as well, I think, too. So moving on to Lydia Givens Elementary. This is Summerlin West as well, the Vistas, and that is a 9 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
Okay, next up we have Goolsby Elementary, which is zoned for Summerlin South, which includes the Ridges area. So that's nice that they have a well-rated elementary school, because I feel like the Henderson counterpart, which is McDonald Highlands, actually doesn't have great rated public schools.
Yes.
So good to see that Ridges has that. They get a 9 out of 10 on great schools and an A- on niche.
And so the next one is Staten Elementary. It is going to be the Arbors area of Summerlin, and that is going to be a 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And finally, rounding out Summerlin. That's a lot in Summerlin. What is that, 6? That's good. That score really well. We have Batterman Elementary. That is Summerlin South again, kind of the Mesas area, Mesa Ridge, beautiful.
Yes,
another high-end, really, really nice guard-gated area. And they get an 8 out of 10 in great schools and a B+ on niche.
So that rounds it out for our elementary schools. There are quite a few more that have 8 out of 10 and B ratings, but we didn't want to make this video too long, so we tried to group it by the top rated schools and the areas. Like we mentioned, though, we have a full list of 8 out of 10 and higher for elementary schools. So getting into middle and high school now.
All right, let's start with middle schools, and we'll start where there are the most top rated, and that is in Henderson. So we have Del Webb Middle School, which is zoned for Anthem, probably part of Seven Hills as well. That's kind of why I mentioned you'll see as we move up top of the list here, with 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And then moving into Green Valley Ranch and that South Fork area, we have Bob Miller Middle School, which has a 7 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And finally, rounding out our Henderson list, here we have Mannion Middle School. That's out in Paradise Hills, which also had a good elementary as well in Henderson. That's a really pretty area. I think it gets overlooked for like the more popular, Green Valley and stuff, but it's quiet.
It does. It's like just south of like the Black Mountain area, so you have lots of hiking trails, stuff like that.
Agreed. Yeah. And sorry, that school gets an 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And so let's go over to Summerlin now. We have Sig Rojich Middle School, which is Summerlin area, the Arbors most specifically, and it has an 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And then finally in Summerlin, we have Becker Middle School, which is the Hills area of Summerlin, and that gets a 7 out of 10 on great schools and a B on niche.
So moving on to the rest of Las Vegas, we do have Fertitta Middle, which is zoned for Rhodes Ranch, the Lakes, and part of Summerlin South. It does have an 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
Next up, we have Tarkanian Middle School. That's known for the Enterprise Southwest area. It gets an 8 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche. And something really that stands out to me about this school is they have a student-to-teacher ratio of 21-1. Some of these other schools, they're getting up to 30-1.
Yes.
So that's significant.
Yeah, you're really getting more one-on-one attention there.
Exactly.
And moving on to another Enterprise Southwest school, we have Canarelli Middle, which is a 7 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And next up, we have one that's around the Charleston Preserve area. This is an area that we actually haven't talked about on our list yet.
Yeah.
So a little bit closer to like the older historic Las Vegas.
Yes.
I know some people that grew up here in Las Vegas and like that's where their parents' homes were, some really beautiful large older homes.
And they're super unique too.
And they're super unique.
Not going to be like cookie cutter, like you might have heard of Section 10, that kind of area. It's just north of that.
Exactly. So this is Hyde Park Middle School. It gets a 7 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche.
And then Piccoli Ranch, and also part of Charleston Preserve, we have Walter Johnson Middle School, which is a 7 out of 10 on great schools and a B- on niche.
Yeah, I love Piccoli Ranch. I think that area often gets overlooked for, trendier Summerlin.
Yes.
People get priced out of Summerlin. If you're looking in Summerlin and you're like getting priced out, check out Piccoli Ranch.
Piccoli Ranch is a really great area for that. That's
pretty.
Actually probably the next video I'm going to do.
I love
So
Piccoli
watch
Ranch.
out because
cool.
I really feel like
can't wait to see
it's
it.
not talked about enough. People don't really know about it, but there's some great shopping. It's not far from like Boca Park and stuff like that
No.
too. So you're still enjoying a lot of the Summerlin amenities, just not at the Summerlin price.
Right, exactly. And finally, we'll take you up to the northwest part of Las Vegas, the Centennial Hills, Elkhorn area. And up there we have Cadwallader Middle School, which gets a 7 out of 10 on great schools and a B on niche.
So let's get into high schools. The first one we're going to start with is Seven Hills, Green Valley Ranch, Anthem, South Fork area, which is that borderline Henderson, Silverado Ranch. We have Coronado High, which is a 7 out of 10 on great schools and an A on niche.
Great, and next up we have another Henderson High School, and that is Green Valley. It only has a 5 out of 10 on great schools, but we wanted to include it in the list because it has an A- on niche. So they both use different metrics to rate and rank. So you can definitely go in and do your research on those.
Yeah, and over the years we've heard really great things about this high school, so that is another reason why we did want to still add this one.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to move on to the Summerlin area with Palo Verde High, which has a 6 out of 10 on great schools and a B+ on niche. Now, the high schools, again, this one doesn't have the greatest rating on great schools, but I feel like schools have fluctuated over the years. There's some schools that have way higher of a rating than they did a few years ago, and some schools that have come down a little bit, but as you've seen, the niche is still higher and they do use different metrics, and we've had friends and heard from people that the schools are still pretty good. The main thing that they're getting high ratings on still is their college preparatory, which I feel like is really important for a high school. So to go a little further on college preparatory for high school, there is a program out here. It is through College of Southern Nevada, and it's College of Southern Nevada High School. Now you're getting not only college preparatory here, you're getting college credits. So they are dual enrollment schools, and it is 11th and 12th grade. I think it's really wonderful. I know I did this, and it really gave me a leg up when getting to college with what to expect, and then also having some credits under your belt.
Saving some money.
Yes, that too.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's free. It doesn't cost anything. So what a great opportunity to have here.
Yeah, and so you do have to take an entrance exam, do an application, and write a letter for why you feel like you'd be a good fit for this. So another way that it's really preparing you for college.
So there are 3 locations for this school throughout Las Vegas, which is great. So it's easily accessible around the entire valley. There's one just slightly east of Piccoli Ranch. There's one by Black Mountain Henderson, and there's one in North Las Vegas by the Sunrise area. So very accessible, like I said, and these are rated very, very highly because you're basically taking college classes. So they get a 9 to 10 out of 10 on great schools, depending on the location, and an A to an A- on niche. So these are the highest
really
rated,
great.
right? I mean, for the public version of high school here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess you're giving up maybe like the traditional, prom and sports and whatnot, but it just depends on what's important to you and your family. I mean, if, like you said, if college preparedness is the most important, this is definitely the way to go.
And if you have the grades to get into a school like this, I think it's
Right.
definitely something to look at. Like I said, I did it when I was in high school, and it just took a lot of stress off of going into college. You're kind of a little more prepared for what to expect when you do get into college. So in addition to these schools that are ranked pretty high, we do also have charter and magnet schools that do have really high ratings. Let's start with charter schools. Now, they don't have any ratings on great schools, but they do have niche ratings. Now, to apply for these, it is a first come, first serve basis. Unless you have a sibling that's already registered, then you do get priority, and you can apply on the school's website.
Yeah, and then just to jump in as well, Kat, some people don't understand that these are still funded by the state or the county.
Yes.
So you're almost getting like a private education, especially with some of these really highly rated ones.
Yes, absolutely.
But you don't have to pay the private school price
They're
tag.
still a public school here.
Exactly.
So one of the charter schools to mention is going to be Doral Academy. Now, you do have them all throughout Las Vegas and Henderson, and they do have mostly A ratings.
All right, next up we have Pinecrest Academy, and this is a charter school that is mostly in the Henderson area. The schools rate really well, a lot of A+ ratings on niche, and they have some campuses by Inspirada, which is great, and also out in Cadence, which is exciting too, because Cadence is very popular with families. There's a lot. It's very affordable, so it's good for first-time home buyers. But it's great having that Pinecrest charter school out there because, first of all, I think you can walk to it. I think you can walk or ride your bike. It's like right there. It's right there in Cadence, and you have access to great education.
Yes. So like she said, a lot of people are moving to Cadence because of the price and affordability. So yeah, it is really nice to see a decent school in that area.
And I actually had clients that because some of these you have to wait a while because it just opened. There is currently, at the time of filming, there's availability in the classroom. So
yes.
I had clients that were able to get their kids in, and it's pre-K through 12. So it's amazing that your kids are going to stay in the same school and grow with their peers.
Yes, a lot of these charter schools, they are either K through 8 or K through 12. So you do get to stay in the same school the whole time, which can be super helpful if we're looking at ratings, and also just so you're not trying to figure out, where are we going to send our children next. Right. So we also have Coral Academy that is kind of all over Las Vegas and Henderson as well. And again, we have K through 8 and K through 12, and these are mainly rated A and B pluses.
The next one I'm really excited about, being a parent myself, and that is Silver Sands Montessori School, which is located in Henderson in the Whitney Ranch area. This is really neat because normally if you wanted to give your child a Montessori education, it's private school and you're paying a lot out of pocket. But this is a charter school. The Silver Sands gets an A- on niche, and it goes from K to 8, and it has really low student-to-teacher ratio, which is like a pillar of the Montessori, theory, and you get 12 students to 1 teacher. That's crazy low.
Private school,
right? Student
to teacher, right there.
Right,
very much so.
So a really great option.
Yes. There's also Somerset Academy, which is mostly in the Northwest area, so some great schools there as well. And it does have A- ratings.
Yeah, that's a great option up there because, you might hear us talk about all the time Sky Canyon. We love Sky Canyon. And Sunstone is another great master plan that's opening up there.
Yes.
Or even if you're in Tule Springs, it's really great option for you to explore. I know people get very stuck in the Summerlin and Henderson mindset, but we've got great ideas on other parts of town that could work for you too.
Absolutely, and you don't have to be zoned in the area of the charter school. So yes, it is great that some of these areas do have some better rated schools, but you don't specifically have to live in that area. So there are some limited options for transportation. It would be better if you could take your child, as the public transportation options are limited, but you are not limited to just where you're zoned for with the charter and magnet schools.
And finally, we have one in Summerlin. Summerlin has a lot of the private schools, but not as many charter schools as we have in Henderson. So here is one of the few charter schools out in Summerlin. That's Discovery Charter. That's in Hill Point, and it gets a B+ on niche.
So let's talk about magnet schools. Now, they are still governed by the city, county, whereas charter schools do have their own charter or board that they still have to answer to. So the application process is a little different. As I mentioned, charter schools, you can apply directly through their website, and it is a first come, first served basis. Magnet schools is going to be kind of a lottery, and there are quite a few steps, but it is really important to talk about them because there are so many options. You can go to schools' events and open houses, which I think is really cool that they offer that. You can really do a lot of research to see where you might want to send your kids, and you're going to apply directly on the Clark County School District or CCSD website instead of through the school website. So you can go to these open houses, events, research, apply online. Check your email often for updates and to get confirmation that they did get your application. And then there will be a lottery, like I said. So after the lottery, you will get updates on if your student was accepted.
So as Catherine said, the majority of these are they're interest-based, and then you go into the lottery. That is how the elementary and middle school operate. As we get into some of these more specialized high school magnet schools, which are really cool, so definitely stick around.
Yes.
There's some really neat programs. Some of those, the majority are still the lottery. Some of those are merit-based. So if you're looking to get into some of the STEM programs, maybe like biomedical engineering, that sort of thing, those are done by, looking at your test scores, etc. And we have a really great performing arts academy here as well, like a top-notch dance program, jazz program. That's obviously, you're going to have to audition for that.
And so they do have expectations that have to be withheld, elementary, middle, and high school. It's grades, attendance, all these kind of things. You can see the full list on the CCSD website. But again, that's really great because you're getting into this school, a lot of them being merit-based, and so you do have to uphold all of these expectations. The magnet schools that we're going to talk about are only the ones that were rated on the higher end. There are quite a few more, and the full list is on the CCSD website. But again, we're talking about the top rated schools. So the first one is going to be in the Black Mountain Henderson area. It's Gordon McCaw Elementary, and it's a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B+ on Niche.
Black Mountain turning up again.
Right? I should do a video on Black Mountain as well.
It's just reminding me to, try and push clients out of their comfort zone, and maybe that could...
Underrated areas that aren't talked about. You don't really see these areas like Pecola Ranch has a couple of videos, but like Black Mountain, you don't really see videos on YouTube. So definitely some underrated areas. I have friends that live not far from Black Mountain, and
it's quiet.
They love it. It's great, especially if you want outdoors, hiking, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we have Walter Bracken Elementary, which is in East Las Vegas. That gets a 9 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B+ on Niche. So an area that we really haven't talked about. Great school.
Yes. Let's move to North Las Vegas now. We have Joe Mackey Elementary, and it's an 8 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B on Niche.
And rounding out our elementary school list, we have Mabel Hoggard Elementary. That's up in North Las Vegas, another area that we haven't been talking about much. So great to see they have a nice a magnet elementary school too. 8 out of 10 on Great Schools and a B on Niche.
Yes. Now, I did mention that we were only talking about the top rated schools, so unfortunately the magnet middle schools didn't really get great ratings, so we really don't have any to talk about. But again, you can find the full list on the CCSD website.
Yeah, so moving on to high schools, this is really neat, and I think this again, it's reminding me that I need to remind people that these exist, because there's some really neat programs out there for your student if they know what they want to get into, if they know they want to be a doctor, or they know they want to be an engineer. So we'll start with this one that's rated phenomenally. Advanced Technologies Academy in the western side of Las Vegas. It gets a 10 out of 10 on Great Schools and an A+ on Niche, which is phenomenal. And they have some really neat programs. We have architectural design, computer science, biomedical engineering, business management, cybersecurity, engineering, graphic design. That's so neat
really
to
awesome.
be able to get that specialized.
It's kind of like the College of Southern Nevada schools that we talked about for the non-magnet high schools, where you can get college classes, dual enrollment, stuff like that, to get like your core classes out of the way. But if you do know specifically what you want to do, hospitality, culinary, things like that, and maybe not do the college route and go into like a specialized program afterwards, then these schools would be really great, and I love to see that they have some great ratings.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next great rated magnet high school is going to be Las Vegas Academy of the Arts. It is in downtown Las Vegas. It is a 10 out of 10 on great schools and an A on niche. Again, this is going to be a performing arts school. They have a wonderful dance program. I have a friend that her son is there, and he absolutely loves it. He's in the dance program, and just they rave about it all the time.
Yeah, and Georgie, one of our sales reps at Lennar, her son just got into the jazz band program there, and I guess that's rated.
That's amazing.
It's rated like one of the top in the country, so it's really cool. I mean, I've danced with people that went to this school like a while ago,
way back in the day. So it's been steadfast in its program.
Right, absolutely. It's cool to see that their academics are doing so well too. So it's not like they're just focused on their art. You're still getting a well-rounded student out of the program.
Absolutely, so important.
All right, next up we have the West Career and Technical Academy, which is located in Summerlin Center. This gets a 9 out of 10 on great schools and an A+ on niche, so great ratings.
Yes.
It's kind of similar to the Advanced Technologies Academy in that they have like biomedical, biotech, business management, but they also have sports medicine, which is really neat. I love that you can get into that in high school already, nursing, and environmental science.
Awesome. So next we're going to move up to Centennial Hills area with the Northwest Career and Technical Academy. They don't have a rating on great schools, but they do have an A on niche. They have things like hospitality, veterinary sciences, marketing, business management, engineering. So again, a lot of really great programs.
Next up, we have the Southeast Career and Technical Academy, which serves the Southeast area. So it's located in Whitney Ranch in Henderson. It gets an A- on niche. It's not on great schools. These have a little bit more, I would say, like trade type of career path. So they have cosmetology, they have a nursing assistant, graphic designer, IT networking, educational training. A lot of great programs there too.
Yes. The next one is going to be Veterans Tribute Center Technical Academy, and this is in North Las Vegas. And this school is geared toward careers in public services. So really focusing on our everyday heroes, so people that are sometimes overlooked, but super important, things like law enforcement, criminal science, and forensics.
Very neat.
And their ratings are an 8 out of 10 on great schools and an A- on niche.
And finally, we have East Career and Technical Academy, which serves the eastern side of Las Vegas. This again has very similar programs to the other technical academies. Some notable ones are construction technology, information technology, and sports medicine.
Awesome. And again, full list is on CCSD website. There are quite a few more. And Magnet, again, you do not have to be zoned for that school area. We just thought it was important to let you know what part of town it was in. So thank you so much for sticking with us through this video. I know there was a lot of information. If you have any questions about any of it, because we've really done a lot of the legwork and are familiar with a lot of these schools now, or if you just want the complete list and some more ratings and information, please reach out. We would love to send you the full list. I'm your first-time home buying expert. I hope this helps you with figuring out where you might be buying your first home, or if you're relocating to Las Vegas. My name's Catherine.
I'm Kristen.
And we can't wait to see you in the next video.